Listen, this person is trying so hard to act like your self-control is not affecting them, but it is. It is bothering them in a way they did not expect because this time you are not rushing, you are not proving, you are not waiting by the phone trying to decode their energy. You are not watering something that keeps giving you mixed results. No, you stepped back, and that is what is making you untouchable. I'm looking at this card right here, and we have the Seven of Pentacles reversed. Now, we are using tarot as symbolism here, not fortune telling, but this card is so loud for this message. Upright, the Seven of Pentacles is patience, investment, waiting to see what grows, asking yourself, is this worth my energy? But reversed? Oh my gosh. This is when somebody realizes you are no longer willing to keep pouring into something that is not giving you real fruit. And that is what is driving this crush crazy. Because they thought you would keep investing. They thought you would keep caring. They thought you would keep standing there emotionally available, waiting for them to finally decide what they wanted. But you did not. You stopped overwatering dry soil. You stopped giving sacred attention to inconsistent energy. You stopped letting attraction convince you to be patient with someone who was not showing enough effort, enough maturity, enough consistency, or enough emotional responsibility. And here's the thing. Your self-control is not loud. That is why it is so powerful. You are not screaming at them. You are not begging them to change. You are not posting things just to get a reaction. You are not trying to punish them with silence. You simply stopped investing where you felt drained. And now they can feel that. They can feel that your energy is no longer automatically available. They can feel that your body, your emotions, your attention, your softness, your desire, all of it has been pulled back behind a locked door. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Let's go deeper into this reading because I'm hearing they thought you would keep waiting, but you finally chose yourself. And that choice is making them nervous. Because this is not just about them losing your attention. No, it is about them losing influence. And there is a difference. I'm looking at this Five of Cups right here. And again, we are using tarot as symbolism, not fortune telling. But this card is speaking so clearly into the energy. The Five of Cups is that moment when somebody is staring at what spilled, what did not work, what they mishandled, what they assumed would still be there when they finally turned around. And now they are looking at the space where your energy used to be. They felt that. They noticed that. They were not ready for that. Because when you were still investing, when you were still emotionally available, when you were still giving them the benefit of the doubt, they had room to be uncertain. They had room to be inconsistent. They had room to take their time and still feel like your warmth was nearby. But now the room feels different. Your silence does not feel like a tantrum. It does not feel like a game. It does not feel like you are secretly waiting for them to chase you so you can feel chosen. That is what is making them nervous because your silence feels settled. It feels calm. It feels like you made a decision inside yourself that they were not invited into. And that is a very different kind of energy. You are not being cold. Let's be clear about that. You are not being heartless. You are not suddenly pretending you do not feel anything. You are simply being selective with where your emotion goes. You are finally asking, is this actually safe for me to keep pouring into. And with this Five of Cups, I feel like this person is starting to sit in the emotional aftermath of underestimating your self-control. They thought your feelings would keep the door unlocked. They thought your attraction would make you easier to access. They thought your softness meant they could return whenever the mood hit them. But your softness has a lock now. Your attention has standards now. Your energy has a cost now. And what really unsettles them is not just that you stepped back. It is that you may still feel something and you are still choosing restraint. And that discipline is loud to somebody who was used to your feelings doing all the work. I'm looking at the Hanged Man right here. And again, symbolism, not fortune telling, but this is aligned with what we are talking about, because the Hanged Man is pause, surrender, suspension, seeing something from a different angle because movement is no longer available in the same way. And that is exactly what your energy has done to this person. You stopped moving toward them. You stopped reaching. You stopped bending your whole emotional body around their uncertainty. And now they are hanging there with their own thoughts. They are having to sit with the fact that your desire is not driving the car anymore. Your nervous system is not negotiating with breadcrumbs anymore. Your softness has boundaries now. And that is where the private panic begins. Because, see, this person wanted to be wanted. They liked knowing there was something there. They liked feeling that pull from you, even if they were not fully showing up for it. They liked the comfort of your interest. They liked the confirmation that, okay, even if they were moving slow, even if they were being confusing, even if they were not saying everything clearly, your energy was still kind of leaning in their direction. But now, they cannot predict you. And that is the part that is messing with them. Because you can still care and not chase. You can still feel attraction and not abandon your standards. You can still miss somebody and not hand them the keys to your peace. That is self-control. That is emotional maturity. That is untouchable energy. And I feel like with the Hanged Man here, this person is starting to see you from a perspective they did not have before. When you were close, they may have taken your warmth for granted. But from a distance, your energy looks different. It looks rarer. It looks calmer. It looks like something they cannot just reach for whenever they feel lonely, curious, or emotionally restless. They are realizing caring does not mean access. Feeling does not mean forgiveness. Chemistry does not mean availability. And your silence, it is not weakness. It is not confusion. It is not pettiness. It is discipline. And I'm looking at this Queen of Pentacles reversed right here. And again, symbolism, not fortune telling, but this is the part where the message gets very specific. Because upright, the Queen of Pentacles is nurturing, stable, giving, warm, grounded. The kind of energy that makes people feel safe, seen, taken care of, like they can exhale around you. But reversed? Oh my gosh, this is when that nurturing energy has been overextended. This is when somebody has been giving too much of their peace, too much of their patience, too much of their emotional labor, and their body finally says, no, we are not doing that anymore. And that is what happened here. You pulled the queen back. You pulled the warmth back. You pulled the emotional cushion back. Because let's be honest, when you were overgiving, this person did not have to fully look at their inconsistency. They could delay, they could be vague, They could give a little bit and still receive a lot. They could show up halfway and still feel your full presence. That is the part they did not calculate. They thought the connection would keep moving because you were carrying so much of it. But now that you stopped carrying it, they can feel where the weight actually was. They can feel the imbalance. They can feel the silence around their almost effort. And your restraint became a mirror. It started showing them every mixed signal, every delayed response, every moment where they relied on chemistry instead of maturity. Every time they thought attraction would be enough to keep you emotionally open. No. Attraction is not enough. A spark is not enough. Potential is not enough when somebody keeps making you feel like you have to shrink your needs just to keep the connection peaceful. And that is why your self-control is hitting them so hard. It is not because you are doing something to them. It is because you finally stopped doing everything for them. You stopped smoothing it over. You stopped filling in the blanks. You stopped making their inconsistency look softer than it was. And now they are sitting with the truth of that. But here is the deeper layer. They may not just be missing your attention. They may be realizing they were more emotionally attached to your presence than they ever wanted to admit. And that is where their ego starts getting uncomfortable. Because I'm looking at this Four of Cups reversed right here. And again, symbolism, not fortune telling, but this card is very interesting in this position. Upright, the Four of Cups can be emotional withdrawal, disinterest, sitting there with an offer in front of you and acting like you do not see it, seat, acting unimpressed, acting like nothing is really moving you, but reversed. Now something is starting to break through. Now the person who was trying to act unavailable is realizing, wait, I might have missed something. I might have been too closed off. I might have been sitting in my own ego while something real was standing right in front of me, and that is the conflict. Because part of them wants to reach out. Part of them wants to act like they are fine. Part of them wants to tell themselves, it was not that serious. I can handle this. I am not affected. But then another part of them is watching your calmness like a locked door they no longer have the key to. And that bothers them because your restraint is not chaotic. It is not desperate. It is not begging to be noticed. It is not giving them a dramatic reaction they can use to tell themselves, see, they still care too much. No. You are not giving them that. You are not untouchable because you do not care. You are untouchable because you do care, and you still know when to stop. That is what makes this different. They may have told themselves this connection was casual, manageable, something they could pick up and put down when it was convenient, something they could keep in the background while they figured themselves out. But your self-control is disrupting that whole story because now they cannot use your availability to comfort their avoidance. They cannot use your warmth to soften their distance. They cannot use your interest as proof that they still have time. Your restraint became a mirror, and now that mirror is showing them the part of themselves that hesitated, delayed, minimized, and assumed you would stay open anyway. And I feel like this is where they may start testing the door, not because they are fully ready, but because they want proof they still have access. And with the Fool reversed showing up here, again, symbolism, not fortune telling, This is exactly the energy of somebody wanting to move, but not necessarily knowing how to move with maturity. Because upright, the Fool is a leap, a beginning, a step into something new. But reversed, this can be hesitation, carelessness, testing the edge without really committing to the jump, wanting the feeling of a fresh start without fully thinking about what responsibility comes with it. And that is why you need to stay grounded, because this person may come in with something small, a casual like, a random story view, a hey that looks innocent but energetically feels like they are tapping on the glass, a nostalgic comment, a sudden warm message that makes your heart remember the version of them you wanted so badly to believe in. But listen, do not let one moment of warmth make you forget the pattern that made you pull back in the first place. Because sometimes the test is not evil. It is not always manipulation in some big dramatic way. Sometimes it is fear. Sometimes it is ego. Sometimes it is habit. Sometimes it is somebody emotionally immature reaching for comfort before they are ready to offer clarity. And that is why your self-control has to stay connected to your standards, not your pride. Do not punish. Do not perform. Just observe. Because their ego may want reassurance that the door is not fully locked. They may want to feel that if they knock, your whole nervous system will still run to answer. They may want to know that your softness is still somewhere behind that door, waiting, available, forgiving, open. But you are not the same version of yourself who needed one little sign to start pouring again. No. You are watching for consistency now. You are listening for clarity now. You are paying attention to emotional responsibility now. Not potential, not tension. Not almost. Because chemistry can make somebody curious, but consistency shows you whether they have capacity. A message can show they miss you, but behavior shows whether they are ready to meet you differently. And that is the next layer of this. Because someone missing you is not the same thing as someone being ready for you. No. And I'm looking at this Page of Wands reversed right here. And again, symbolism, not fortune telling, but this is exactly the difference. Because upright, the Page of Wands is curiosity, desire, a spark, a message. That excited little impulse that says, I want to see where this goes. But reversed, this is when the spark is there, but the maturity is not fully there yet. This is attraction without direction, interest without follow-through, passion that can get excited in the moment, but then hesitate when it is time to actually build something stable. And that is why you cannot romanticize every sign that they miss you. Because yes, they may miss you. Yes, they may desire you. Yes, they may think about you when things get quiet. Yes, your self-control may be affecting them more than they are willing to admit. But missing you is a feeling. Choosing you is behavior. Regret is emotional. Repair is intentional. And there is a big difference between somebody being triggered because they lost access to you and somebody being transformed enough to show up differently with you. That is the part you have to pay attention to. Because a person can miss your energy and still not know how to honor it. They can crave your warmth and still not be ready to protect it. They can feel the absence of your softness and still not have the emotional tools to meet you with consistency. And listen, that does not mean they are a horrible person. It means you have to be honest. Because your nervous system is not a training ground for someone else's emotional development. Your heart is not a place for half-ready energy to keep practicing. No, not anymore. Remember where we started with that Seven of Pentacles reversed. You stopped pouring into soil that was not giving you fruit. And real fruit takes more than emotional weather. It takes roots, it takes effort, it takes time, it takes somebody showing up when the feeling is not just exciting, but responsible. So if they come in with Page of Wands, reversed energy, curious but unclear, excited but inconsistent, warm but still not accountable, you do not have to collapse back into hope. You can observe, you can breathe, you can let their behavior tell the truth, because your self-control is creating a decision point now. Either they rise into maturity or they reveal exactly why you had to step back. And I'm looking at the star reversed right here. And again, symbolism, not fortune telling, but this is exactly the energy of hope being brought back down to reality. Because upright, the star is healing, faith, renewal. That soft part of you that still believes something can be restored. That part of you that looks at a person and says, maybe there is something here. Maybe this can grow. Maybe they will meet me in the light eventually. But reversed, this is when hope cannot be the only thing holding the connection together anymore. This is when you stop wishing on someone's potential while ignoring their pattern. This is when your spirit says, I can have compassion for you, but I cannot keep abandoning myself to keep believing in you. And that is the threshold. That is the locked door. This person cannot cross this line with charm alone. They cannot cross it with chemistry alone. They cannot cross it with a little message, a little nostalgia, a little emotional pressure, a little I miss you energy that still does not come with accountability. No, not this time. Because your sacred attention is not open to confusion anymore. Your emotional access is not open to laziness anymore. Your softness is not available for somebody who wants the comfort of your presence without the responsibility of showing up clearly. And listen, this is not about you becoming hard. It is about you becoming honest. You are finally being honest about what drained you. Honest about what made you anxious. Honest about what kept you waiting. Honest about the dry soil you kept trying to love into bloom. And yes, self-control can feel lonely at first. Let's be real. There may be moments where you want to fold. You may want to answer too quickly. You may want to soften the boundary because you remember the good parts. You may want to tell yourself, maybe this time is different. But your future self is asking you to pause. Your future self is saying, watch the behavior, because the next move they make is going to reveal something. Not just whether they have feelings, whether they have capacity. And I feel like this person is starting to understand your absence differently now. Not as rejection, as consequence. And I'm looking at this Three of Cups reversed right here. And again, symbolism, not fortune telling, but this is where the emotional peak of this message really lands. Because upright, the Three of Cups is connection, celebration, shared joy. That feeling of coming together, being welcomed, being included, feeling like there is space for warmth and ease. But reversed, this is when the circle closes. This is when access changes. This is when someone realizes they are no longer automatically included in the softest parts of you. And that is the consequence they are feeling, not revenge. not cruelty. Not you trying to make them hurt. No. This is what happens when somebody underestimates your self-respect for too long. This is what happens when somebody gets used to creating uncertainties and assumes you will keep sitting inside that uncertainty with them. But you removed your chair from the hallway of their indecision. You are not waiting outside the door anymore. You are not checking the room to see if they finally made space for you. You are not standing there with your cup in your hand, hoping they notice how much love, how much patience, how much softness you were willing to bring. You took your cup back, and now the energetic balance has changed. They are no longer the ones setting the pace. They are no longer the one deciding when this connection gets warmth, when it gets silence, when it gets attention, when it gets distance. Your nervous system has stepped out of the waiting room. And that is powerful, because the locked door was never there to punish them. It was there to protect what is sacred. Your peace is sacred. Your softness is sacred. Your ability to love without losing yourself is sacred. And if somebody wants access to that, they cannot keep treating it like something casual. They cannot keep showing up halfway and expecting your whole heart to meet them at the door. No, not anymore. This is the moment where you stop abandoning yourself just because someone might come back. Because the final message here is not only about whether they return, it is about who you become when you no longer leave yourself to be chosen. And I'm looking at this Two of Cups reversed right here. And again, symbolism, not fortune telling. But this is such a clear closing card for this message, because upright, the Two of Cups is mutuality, two people meeting each other, emotional exchange, eye contact, balance, a connection where both cups are being held with care. But reversed, this is when the connection cannot keep pretending it is balanced if only one person is emotionally responsible. This is when attraction is present, but alignment is missing. This is when the feelings may be real, but the exchange is not equal enough to be safe. And that is the point. You are not denying that something was there. You are not pretending you never felt the pull. You are not acting like this person meant nothing, or that your heart never opened, or that the chemistry was fake. No, you are just no longer using chemistry as permission to abandon yourself. That is the power. And this person may feel pulled toward you. They may feel nervous. They may feel curious. They may feel regretful. They may be sitting there wondering why your energy feels so different now, why they cannot reach you the same way, why your softness no longer rushes forward to make everything okay. But you do not have to chase proof of your value. You do not have to audition for consistency. You do not have to keep offering your cup to someone who is still learning how to hold their own. And bringing it back to that Seven of Pentacles reversed, you stopped investing in a place that kept giving you mixed results. You stopped watering dry soil. You stopped waiting for fruit from effort that was not actually being planted. Your restraint is not a game. It is not punishment. It is not emotional shutdown. It is devotion to your peace. And if this message is hitting, comment "I choose myself" or "locked door energy," because that is exactly what this is. Not bitter, not cold. Not unreachable because you are trying to hurt somebody. Untouchable because you are finally loyal to yourself. So if this reading resonated, go ahead and like, subscribe, and stay close to the channel because we are going to keep going deeper. But for now, remember this. You can be soft. You can still feel. You can still care. And still be self-controlled enough to remain untouchable.